Hey everybody, welcome to Game Theory. Well, almost. Today we're taking a trip through time to explore the ultimate console war. Every home video game system ever. Buckle up, because we're diving deep into the history of gaming, from the primordial soup of Pong to the high-def delights of the PS5. That's right, we're talking decades of digital battles, technological leaps and bounds, and more iconic characters than a Super Smash Bros. Roster. But this isn't just a nostalgia trip. Oh no, my friends. This is an investigation. We're gonna break down the biggest moments, the surprise upsets, and the underdog stories that shaped gaming into the multi-billion-dollar industry it is today. Think of it like this. Every pixel, every line of code, every button mash tells a story. And we're here to uncover the secrets behind them. We're talking about the consoles that defined generations, the games that kept us glued to our screens, and the rivalries that fueled countless forum arguments, and maybe even a real-life fistfight or two, who knows? We'll uncover the hidden gems, the marketing masterminds, and the technological innovations that changed everything. So whether you're a seasoned gamer with a joystick-shaped birthmark, or a curious newcomer wondering how we got from pixelated blobs to photorealistic masterpieces, get ready for the ultimate history of console gaming. Because trust me, this is a story you won't want to miss. Now, before we can delve into the epic battles of Nintendo versus Sega, or the rise of PlayStation, we need to go back to the very beginning. Back to a time before online multiplayer, before cartridges, before Mario and Sonic were even gleams in their creators' eyes. We're talking about the dawn of console gaming, and it all started with a simple, yet revolutionary invention, the Magnavox Odyssey. Released in 1972, the Odyssey predates even the Atari. This was a time when computers took up entire rooms and the idea of playing a video game in your living room was pure science fiction. But the Odyssey dared to dream bigger. It offered groundbreaking features like, get this, multiple game cartridges. Okay, so they were more like circuit boards that plugged in, but still, this was unheard of back then. The Odyssey even had different game overlays you had to stick on your TV screen to change the visuals. We're talking true DIY gaming here. And the gameplay? Well, it was basic by today's standards, mostly simple sports games, and the iconic Tennis for Two, which laid the groundwork for a little game you might have heard of called Pong. But here's the thing, despite its simplicity, the Odyssey was a game changer. It planted the seed of an idea, showing the world that home video games were not only possible, but they could be fun, engaging, and even a little bit magical. Little did they know this was just the first blip on the radar of a gaming revolution about to explode. Okay, so, the Magnavox Odyssey may have started the console craze, but it was Atari that turned it into a global phenomenon. Founded in 1972, the same year the Odyssey was released, Atari quickly became synonymous with video games. While the Odyssey was content with simple sports games, Atari burst onto the scene with something bolder, something more addictive, something that would change gaming forever: the arcade. Games like Pong, Asteroids, and Pac-Man weren't just games, they were cultural events. Arcades became the place to be, packed with kids and adults alike, all pumping quarters into these glowing cabinets of joy. The competition was fierce, the high scores were legendary, and the impact on pop culture was undeniable. But Atari's ambitions didn't stop at the arcade. They saw the potential of bringing the arcade experience into homes, and in 1977 they released the Atari 2600, a console that would define a generation. With its iconic joystick and wood-paneled design, the 2600 wasn't just a gaming console, it was a statement piece. It said, "I'm on the cutting edge of technology, and fun." And fun it was. Games like Space Invaders, Pitfall, and Donkey Kong, which, fun fact, introduced the world to a certain mustachioed plumber, became instant classics, pushing the boundaries of what home consoles could do. But as Atari's star rose, so too did the competition, and the gaming landscape was about to enter a period of unprecedented turmoil. The early 80s seemed like a golden age for video games. Arcades were booming, home consoles were flying off the shelves, and everyone wanted a piece of the action. But this rapid, unchecked growth would be the industry's undoing. You see, the market became completely oversaturated. Companies were churning out games at a breakneck pace, and many of these, frankly, just weren't good. Remember E.T. for the Atari? Yeah, that's a prime example. The game was rushed to market in just 5 weeks to capitalize on the movie's popularity. And the result was, well, a buggy, unplayable mess that's now synonymous with the crash. But ET wasn't alone. There were countless other shovelware titles flooding the market, leading to consumer distrust and ultimately, a decline in sales. But it wasn't just bad games. The rise of home computers like the Commodore 64 offered a cheaper and more versatile alternative to dedicated gaming consoles. These computers could not only play games but also handle tasks like word processing and programming, making them a more attractive option for budget-conscious consumers. With so many factors at play, the writing was on the wall. Consumers, burned by low-quality games and enticed by more versatile options, started closing their wallets. Retailers found themselves stuck with shelves full of unsold games, and the industry braced for impact. With the North American video game market in shambles, many companies saw little hope for recovery. But across the Pacific, a Japanese company called Nintendo saw an opportunity. They had found success in their home market with a console called the Famicom, and they believed they could do the same in the West, but they needed a plan. Nintendo's strategy was twofold. First, they needed to distance themselves from the negative connotations of the word video game. They rebranded their console as the Nintendo Entertainment System, or NES, and packaged it as a toy, rather than a gaming device. This clever marketing move helped to ease the fears of wary parents who associated video games with the crash. Second, Nintendo implemented a strict licensing system for third-party developers. This ensured that only high-quality games bearing the official seal of quality would be released for the NES. This move drastically improved the quality of games available and helped to rebuild consumer trust in the industry. But Nintendo didn't just rely on marketing and licensing. They also had a secret weapon, Super Mario Bros. This groundbreaking platformer, bundled with most NES consoles, captivated players with its intuitive gameplay, colorful graphics, and iconic characters. Super Mario Bros. Became a cultural phenomenon, single-handedly reviving the video game industry and cementing Nintendo's place as the new industry leader. The NES may have dominated the 8-bit era, but a new challenger emerged in the late 80s, Sega. With their 16-bit Genesis console, Sega set their sights on Nintendo's throne, and they weren't afraid to play dirty. Sega's strategy was simple: be everything Nintendo wasn't. While Nintendo cultivated a family-friendly image, Sega targeted an older audience with edgier games and aggressive marketing. Sega's mascot, Sonic the Hedgehog, perfectly embodied this approach. He was cool, edgy and fast, a stark contrast to the more wholesome Mario. Sonic's supersonic speed and attitude, coupled with the Genesis's more powerful hardware, gave Sega a significant edge in the 16-bit battle. But Sega's tactics went beyond just marketing. They aggressively pursued third-party developers, offering more lenient licensing agreements and lower cartridge manufacturing costs. This strategy paid off, as many developers, frustrated by Nintendo's strict control, flocked to the Genesis, bolstering its game library with titles like Mortal Kombat and Street Fighter II. The year is 1994, the 16-bit era was winding down and Sega and Nintendo were the undisputed kings of the industry. But the landscape was about to change drastically, all thanks to a surprising new player, Sony. See, Sony was initially in talks with Nintendo to develop a CD-ROM add-on for the Super Nintendo, capitalizing on the burgeoning CD-ROM technology that promised larger storage and potentially more immersive gaming experiences. However, the deal fell apart, leading Sony to take a gamble that would forever alter the trajectory of gaming history. They decided to go solo, releasing their own console, the PlayStation, in 1994. This wasn't just a console launch, it was a statement. The PlayStation was sleek, powerful, and boasted cutting-edge 3D graphics capabilities, something that immediately set it apart from its cartridge-based competitors. The gaming world took notice. The PlayStation wasn't just a technological marvel, it was a cultural phenomenon. Titles like Final Fantasy VII, Metal Gear Solid, and Tekken 3 pushed the boundaries of storytelling, gameplay, and visuals, showcasing the true potential of this new generation of consoles. Games weren't just pixelated adventures anymore, they were evolving into cinematic experiences, and the impact was undeniable. the PlayStation went on to sell over 100 million units worldwide, dethroning Nintendo and ushering in a new era of console gaming dominance. But this was just the beginning of the story. Sony's bold move had not only shaken the industry, but also laid the groundwork for a rivalry that would define the future of gaming. While Sony was busy redefining the gaming landscape with the PlayStation, another tech giant was closely watching and planning their entry into the console market. That's right, we're talking about Microsoft. In the late 90s, rumors began swirling about a mysterious Microsoft console, a machine that could challenge Sony's dominance. In 2001, Microsoft launched the Xbox, featuring built-in online functionality. The Xbox embraced online gaming wholeheartedly. The inclusion of an Ethernet port, along with Xbox Live, signaled a major shift in gaming. The Xbox wasn't just about online play, it was about power. It boasted hardware rivaling high-end PCs. This attracted developers eager to push graphical boundaries. Titles like Halo and Project Gotham Racing became system sellers, proving Microsoft was a serious contender. The Xbox challenged Sony's dominance, setting the stage for a console war. For decades, gaming was a primarily solitary experience. You'd gather with friends on the couch for some local multiplayer, but for the most part, it was you versus the game. But all that changed with the rise of the internet. Early attempts at online gaming like dial-up bulletin board systems, BBSEs, and PC games like Doom with its revolutionary deathmatch mode, gave us a taste of what connecting with other players could be like. However, it was the advent of broadband internet, and the launch of consoles like the Xbox, with its integrated online infrastructure, that truly brought online gaming to the forefront. Suddenly, gamers could connect with friends and strangers alike, forming communities around shared passions for games like Halo 2 and World of Warcraft. This shift towards connected gaming was seismic. It wasn't just about playing with friends, it was about the social experience, the thrill of competition on a global scale, and the sense of community that came from being part of something larger than yourself. Clans were formed, rivalries were born, and the very definition of multiplayer was redefined. The impact of online gaming extended far beyond just gameplay. It fostered the growth of esports, where professional gamers and teams competed for lucrative prizes and sponsorships. Streaming platforms like Twitch emerged, allowing viewers worldwide to watch and interact with their favorite players in real time. So, we've been talking about consoles, these magical boxes that bring our gaming fantasies to life. But what happens when the box disappears? That's right, gamers, we're diving into the world of mobile gaming. It might seem like a separate universe, but trust me, it's deeply intertwined with the console world. This shift began in the late 2000s. Remember the first iPhone? It wasn't just a phone, it was a pocket-sized computer with the potential for gaming. Suddenly everyone had access to games at their fingertips, no bulky hardware required. Games like Angry Birds and Candy Crush exploded, racking up millions of downloads. This wasn't just a fad, it was a sign of things to come. This graph tells the story, doesn't it? Look at that mobile gaming revenue skyrocketing. This wasn't just a casual gamer thing either. Hardcore gamers, console loyalists, even developers started paying attention. Could this little device actually challenge the reign of consoles? So we've journeyed through decades of gaming history, from pixelated Pong battles to sprawling open worlds. But where do we go from here? What does the future hold for our beloved consoles? Buckle up, gamers, because things are about to get wild. Remember those sci-fi movies with virtual reality where you'd step into the game world? Yeah, that's not science fiction anymore. VR gaming is here, and it's evolving faster than a Pokemon evolution chain. We're talking headsets that transport you to different dimensions, controllers that let you feel every sword swing, every explosion. It's immersive, it's mind-blowing, and it's just the tip of the iceberg. Imagine entire virtual worlds where you can meet up with friends, attend concerts, even go on quests, all from your living room. VR has the potential to redefine what gaming even means. Wow, that was quite a journey, wasn't it? From those humble beginnings with Pong to the mind-blowing possibilities of VR and cloud gaming, we've seen it all. But one thing's for sure, Console gaming has come a long way, and it's showing no signs of slowing down. Thanks for joining us on this journey through the history of console games. It's been a blast exploring the evolution of these incredible machines and the countless worlds they've opened up to us. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon for more awesome content. And be sure to let us know in the comments below what your favorite console game is, and what you're most excited about for the future of gaming. Until next time, keep on gaming.